There is a vehicle going from here. Here the equation will be mg minus normal force. This will be mg minus normal force is mv square by r. This will be mg cos theta minus normal force. This will be mg cos theta minus normal force is mv square by r. The moment it comes into this, the equations will change. If I call this n1, I will call this n2. Here I will call it n3 and this will be mg cos theta. But the difference is here the equation is n3 minus mg cos theta is equal to mv square by r. So n3 can never be equal to 0. There is only one possibility, either n1 or n2. Because n1 I will write as mg minus mv square by r. Here n2 is equal to mg cos theta minus mv square by r. Now where do you think, if the vehicle is going with uniform speed, where do you think he has a greater probability of losing contact with the surface? Obviously n2 is lesser than n1.
Yes, sir.
So if n2 becomes 0, find out the speed with which he is going on the track for this value. I have a greater risk of losing contact with the surface here. If I travel with a speed such that I don't lose contact here, I will not lose contact anywhere else.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Next question.
So,
Yeah.
a car moving at a speed of 36 km per hour is taking a turn on a circular road of radius 50 meter. A small wooden plate is kept on seat with its plane perpendicular to the radius of circular road. A small block of mass 100 gram
Okay,
is kept on the
listen,
seat.
listen. See, this is the plank. Here you have kept a block.
Yes, sir.
Visualize this carefully. In fact, three-dimensional view on the camera, I don't know if I can do complete justice to this. This is the block,
Yes,
right?
sir.
The normal force will be in this direction. This is going about in a circular track this way.
Yes,
So the
sir.
normal force initially provides the required centripetal force.
Yes, sir.
But then he is telling you that this is tilted by an angle. Now you may ask, how do you know that you will have to tilt it this way? You can even tilt it this way.
Yes, sir.
Either of the two ways the answer will be the same. Now when I tilt it this way, the normal force is like this. I will take the horizontal component of the normal force plus one more force will be coming into picture. Because I tilted it this way, the frictional force will be acting in this direction.
Yes, sir.
The component of the friction plus the component of the normal force, both together will provide the required centripetal force.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to visualize this? This plank is
Yes,
like
sir.
this. Normal force provides the required centripetal force. But if I tilt it this way, component of the normal force and component of the friction, both together will
Yes,
provide the
sir.
required centripetal force. Right?
Yes, sir.
So now when we speak of work energy theorem in spring forces, the potential energy stored in a spring is half kx square. We have derived this. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Did we go beyond that?
No, sir.
Okay. Now consider this state. Suppose I have a spring block system. This is K. This is K. And it is in equilibrium. It is in equilibrium. At equilibrium, if the elongation of the spring is x naught, from the unstretched position till the equilibrium, let the elongation be x naught. At equilibrium, I can write kx naught is equal to mg. This is m, mass of the block. But then, in the same problem, suppose I tell you the spring is released from the unstretched position. This is the unstretched position. Released from the unstretched position. When I release it from the unstretched position, obviously they will be asking for the maximum elongation. Now maximum elongation in the spring will not be this straight. When I release it from the unstretched position, it will come down to the lower side. And then it will go up. When can I call maximum elongation? When the change in kinetic energy is 0. Now when you are in equilibrium, undoubtedly the acceleration of the block is 0 but not the velocity. At equilibrium, the acceleration will be zero, but not the velocity. Need not be so that the velocity is zero. It will oscillate and slowly it will come down to rest at an equilibrium position. Now here, when you are releasing the mass from the unstretched position, you are releasing the mass from the unstretched position. It will not happen so that it will come to equilibrium position and come to rest. That doesn't happen. Equilibrium position, and below that it will come to rest here. Now at equilibrium position I will have kx naught is equal to mg once again. This distance is x naught, say. Then how do I recognize the total distance it has moved? If I take this distance to be x, how do you recognize that? Initially it was at rest, finally it is at rest. So net total change in kinetic energy is zero, which will be equal to work done by conservative plus work done by non-conservative plus work done by external force. Sum of all the three work done should be equal to change in kinetic energy. Now work done by non-conservative force is zero, external force is zero. There is no external force and we are not considering air friction. Now work done by the conservative force should be zero. Now work done by the conservative force, there are two works. One is half kx square. Should that go with a negative sign or a positive sign? Half kx square. As this is going down, the elastic potential energy stored in it will be half kx square if it has travelled by a distance of x. Yes or no? Next, kx is in the upward direction. As this is stretching, the force kx and x displacement are not in the same direction. How did you get half kx square on integrating kx dx? This is the force dot displacement. Now this was cos 0 or cos 180 depending on if kx and dx are in the same direction or in opposite direction.
Yes.
Now here kx is in the upward direction. The restoring force is in the upward direction while displacement is in downward direction.
Negative cos 180 minus.
Hence it will be negative plus mdx. Why mdx? Mg is also in the downward direction. Displacement is also in downward direction. So hence half kx square is equal to mgx. So x is equal to 2 mg by k. This is the maximum. This is the elongation in the spring. And I can call that to be the maximum elongation because here the particle comes to rest. I can call that to be the maximum elongation because there the particle will come to rest. Is that clear?
That is twice x0.
Naturally, because it is symmetric, it will be 2 times x naught.
Yes, sir.
If released from this position, find the maximum elongation in the spring.
So it would be the same.
The tension in downward direction there will be mg, in upward direction there will be tension on the mass F. Same on both sides.
How can you people do that here? The answer is the same. Same question, I just put a pulley and brought it connected to the other side. Why will the answer change? This will be the equilibrium position. And this will be the value of x for which it will come to rest. So loss in potential, the equation is the same. X will be equal to 2 mg by k. This will be the maximum elongation.
Yes, sir.
And always say only yes, sir. This is a block of mass 1 kg hanging from a spring of 1 Newton per meter. It is given a velocity, impulse, something struck it. It is in equilibrium position. At that instant, you gave it a velocity of 2 meters per second. We are interested to know what is the maximum height to which it goes. I'll do one thing. I'll make the job a bit easy for you. I gave the velocity in the downward direction. Right? An impulse struck it such that at the equilibrium position it is given a velocity of 2 meters per second. Find the maximum displacement of this particular block from the equilibrium to what distance will it go down? When you conserve the total mechanical energy, What is the total mechanical energy here? I will take half kx square plus half capital M u square. I'll call it x naught. How do you know the value of x naught? X naught I will know because kx naught is equal to capital Mg. This x naught I will substitute here. And you gave me capital M to be 1 kg. Now when you gave a velocity of u, it comes to rest here. It comes to rest. So when can you conserve total mechanical energy? When work done by non-conservative plus external forces is delta TME. I hope you remember this. Because here I will have work done by conservative. Work done by conservative will be minus delta P that taken towards the right. Delta KE and delta P sum total will be total mechanical energy. Now when work done by both of them is equal to 0, delta TME will be 0. If delta TME is 0 at this particular point, delta TME is 0, that means total mechanical energy here and here will be equal. Now here total mechanical energy will only be, have a look at it, half k x naught plus x whole square. I call this distance to be x and this distance to be x naught. From unstretched position till here will be x naught. Now kinetic energy is 0 minus mgx. Why are you taking minus capital mgx? Remember here you took the gravitational potential energy to be 0. That's the reference line. If I am going above it will be plus mgh. If I go below it will be minus mgh. From here when I went down it will be minus capital mgx. This is the total mechanical energy. Kinetic energy is 0. But here the potential energy is 0. This and this I will equate, I will get the value of x. There is only one variable in this equation, x is the only variable. X naught I will substitute as capital Mg by x. X naught at both these places I will substitute capital Mg by k. Right?
Yes.
So when I equate this to this, x is the only variable. Hence that is the answer. This is the unstretched position of the spring. He is asking you from the unstretched position of the spring, find the minimum mass I should release from here so that capital M takes off from the ground. Write down the statement. Find the minimum value of small m when released from the unstretched position. Put a comma for which capital M would take off from the ground. And your answer should be in terms of capital M. Find small m in terms of capital M.
So small m is equal to capital M by 2.
By?
By 2.
Excellent. You are right. You are asking for the minimum value of small m. So that value of small m for which when it comes down by a distance of x, so that the elongation in the spring will be kx, which should be equal to capital Mg. When kx is equal to capital Mg will take off from the ground. This will be capital Mg by k. I should have that elongation of x for which capital M takes off from the ground. And what is that elongation? That elongation is Mg by k. That means this mass will be considered to be the minimum mass if it has a displacement of at least x. If it has got a greater displacement, no doubt capital M will take off from the ground. But then that will not be minimum mass.
Yes, sir.
And when will that be minimum mass? If this value of x is attained by it when it comes to rest here.
Yes, sir.
When will this be minimum mass? When this value of x is attained when it comes to rest here. If it comes to rest here.
2 mg by k.
Right. That means the loss in gravitational potential energy should go into half kx square. And it should not have any kinetic energy there.
Yes, sir.
Implies by the time it travels this particular distance, at that instant this will take off from the ground. And hence x will be equal to 2 mg by k. Now you know mg by k is equal to x. Equate both of them. Small m will be equal to capital M by 2. That is the minimum mass I should have here so that this takes off from the ground. And when I have that minimum mass, it will travel a distance of x which is surplus for this to take off from the ground and it will come to rest there. Right? I may have a mass which is greater than that, it will go further down and it will take off from the ground. But then that mass will not be the minimum mass required. Capital M is just taking off. Capital M did not travel any distance. The elongation in the spring is x, such that kx is equal to capital Mg. It will just take off from the ground when this traveled a distance of x. All of you have the booklet with you, right? Circular motion work energy theorem. Open the subjective problems of the booklet in work energy theorem. See this diagram. Are you able to recognize that question? Work energy theorem subjective problem.
Yes, sir, 70.
Excellent. Solve that question. Solve that question. This diagram's related question in the booklet.
From M2 by 2 is
Right. Secondly, in that question is the coefficient of friction given to be the same.
Yes, sir.
Right. Shall I?
yes.
Listen. He is asking you for the minimum force F so that M2 will move. When will M2 actually move? When Kx in this direction is equal to mu M2 G.
Equal to kx.
X is equal to mu M2 G by K. If this is the compression in the spring, M2 will move. Now when will this force be the minimum force? If this force is able to produce this compression in the spring by doing minimum amount of work, then this force will be minimum force. Now when this compression is achieved, work done by this force, work done by conservative plus work done by non-conservative plus work done by external is change in kinetic energy. I want the change in kinetic energy to be zero because I want to minimize it. I want the work done by the external force to be minimum. Only if it is minimum, the force applied will be minimum. And what will be work done by conservative? Once I have compressed the spring by this x, 100% it will be half kx square. This elongation cannot, this compression cannot be avoided. I must be doing work against it. Will it be plus or minus? Work done by conservative. Kx is in this direction. Displacement is in the opposite direction. Put a negative sign. Kx on M1 will be in this direction. Well, displacement is in opposite direction. Non-conservative force. This block is not yet moving, but this block moved. Mu M1G is the frictional force into x. That will also be negative because frictional force is in this direction, displacement is in the forward direction. Plus F into x. Now this will be negative or positive. Force is in this direction, displacement is in the same direction. Equate it to zero. What makes you feel that this force is minimum? Because the kinetic energy change is zero. Then why do you say so? I have spent the minimum amount of external work to achieve this displacement. And why is that minimum? These both are compulsory expenditures for me. I cannot avoid the compression in the spring and the work done by friction. Hence this force will be the minimum force. This is a simple pendulum of length L and mass M. I am pulling this with a force of F. Slowly. Whenever this word is used in physics, it implies we are indicating at uniform speed. Slowly, uniform speed, so the change in kinetic energy is almost zero. When this comes to this particular angle of theta, find work done by the external force F. This is being slowly pulled towards the right. Find the work done by the external force F when the string makes an angle of theta with the vertical. Remember, the key behind the problem is the word slowly. Change in kinetic energy is zero. Remember that. The first temptation that we will have here is force into displacement. Now this force is horizontal. So that into displacement, the displacement will be L sin theta. But this will be wrong because the force that I am applying is not constant. Now you should have told me in the question that the force that you are applying is not constant. I told you indirectly. Why? Because as this is moving towards the right, this will be the tension T. The force in the horizontal direction is T cos theta, T sin theta. Right? Now T sin theta is changing. Have a look at it. T sin theta is changing as theta is changing. If I want this to move with uniform speed, F should be equal to T sin theta. That means F is a variable force. So taking that force into displacement is a meaningless job. Firstly, did you understand the mistake in taking force into displacement here?
Yes.
Then what is the only other alternative I have got? The alternative I have got here is work done by conservative plus work done by non-conservative plus work done by external force is the change in kinetic energy. You told me that it is going with uniform kinetic energy. So let that be zero. Now non-conservative forces don't exist here. But conservative force does exist. Mg is in the downward direction. It went up by height of h. This total distance is L. This distance is L cos theta. This will be L into 1 minus cos theta. Do you all agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Mg in the downward direction, displacement in the upward direction. Minus Mg L into 1 minus cos theta. Why the negative sign? Because the angle between the force and the displacement is 180.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Plus work done by the external force should be equal to 0. You are asking me work done by the external force. And hence I will get that to be mgl into 1 minus cos theta.
Yes, sir.
The indirect way of finding out the work done by an external force. Wonderful, right?
Yes, sir.
And hence he is Irido. The problem is from Irido. Is m is the mass of the stick. L is the length. How do I find out the potential energy of this particular body? Whole of the mass appears to be concentrated here, hence the potential energy is mgl by 2. Technically, how do you derive it? Consider an element dy at a distance of y. Potential energy of the small element is dmgy. mgh, you took the small element to be dm. So what will be the mass of the small element? Mass per unit length into dy into gy. This will be the potential energy of the small element. So integral du is mg by L integral y dy. Least value of y is 0, maximum value of y is L. mg by L. This will be L square by 2. mg L by 2. This will be the potential energy of an extended body standing vertically. Potential energy of an extended body standing vertically.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Quick. Yeah.
Sir, so I didn't understand the first two steps of the test.
First,
First two steps I didn't get.
potential energy of the small element will be mgh. Mass of the small element is dmg. Height of the small element is y. Now how do I get the mass of the small element? Mass per unit length into length of the small element. Mass per unit length into length of the small element. I'll get the mass of the small element. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now consider a smooth table. You have a chain released from here. You have a chain
Yes, sir.
released from here such that this length is L by 3 and this length is 2L by 3. You are being asked, obviously because it is a smooth table, the chain will start falling. When the chain comes to this particular position, it leaves the table completely. What is the kinetic energy of the chain? Obviously the concept is loss in potential energy will be equal to gain in kinetic energy. Loss in potential energy should be equal to gain in kinetic energy. Loss in potential energy is U initial minus U final. Only then I can call it loss. Then generally when I put delta U means U final minus U initial. But here for me loss is equal to gain. Hence U initial minus U final should be equal to half m V square. Should be equal to half m V square. Now how do I get U initial? In this particular case, listen, the lower ground surface is not given to you for me to calculate the potential energy. Hence potential energy, I will take the advantage of the reference line. I will consider this potential energy to be the reference line. That means the potential energy here is 0. It is more like telling you Today when I am dealing with a problem in potential energy, I will take this height, this point to be zero potential energy, right? And so that this will be MGH. Tomorrow I will take the ground to be zero potential energy, total difference. Day after tomorrow I will take the ground floor to be the zero potential energy or the sea level, so on and so forth. So here I am taking the potential energy to be zero. Then what will U initial be? This length of the chain will contribute to zero, and this length will be minus what mass of the chain? 2m by 3 mass, because 12 by 3 is hanging. The total mass of this will be 2m by 3 G, and the whole of this mass appears to be concentrated at the center of mass because it is an extended body. This will be L by 3 with a negative sign. This will be mass of the hanging part of the chain, G, H. H will be L by 3. This distance will be L by 3. And I am supposed to precede this with a negative sign. 0 is the potential energy of this. Now when it comes to U final, the same reference line, I cannot change this. U final is total mass of the chain is here, G, L by 2. Obviously with a negative sign. Whole of the mass appears to be concentrated here. This is also below the reference line, hence minus mgl by 2. Substitute U initial and U final here. I will get the velocity of the chain.
Yes, sir.
What if there is friction? Let the mu value be coefficient of friction. First of all, when the chain is released, and comes still here, right, I want to know the work done by friction at the first place. Have a look at what we do. Work done by friction. Now suppose you are giving me this as L by 3 and this as 2L by 3. I will consider a small element at a distance of x of thickness dx. dW work done by friction. Why am I writing dW? Work done by friction on the small differential element. Work done by friction on the small differential element. This will be mu n into it moved by a distance of x. Obviously with a negative sign. Minus mu. What will be the normal force on the small element? dm into g. Minus mu dm will be mass per unit length into dx. Minus mu mg by L integral x dx will be the net total work done by friction. Least value of x is 0, maximum value of x is L by 3. The total distance it moves is from 0 to L by 3. This will be minus mu mg by L. This will be L square by 2. L by 3 whole cube by 2. This will be the work done by friction. Now if you ask me the net total kinetic energy here, I will write work done by conservative plus work done by non-conservative plus work done by external force is change in kinetic energy. You are asking me initial kinetic energy is 0. So kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial. Now work done by external force, there is no work done by external force. The only external force is normal force in the upward direction. Displacement is mutually perpendicular to it. So work done by the normal force is 0. Work done by non-conservative force is this. This is work done by friction. Now initial kinetic energy is 0. Initial kinetic energy is 0. You are able to see that? I will write it here. Right? This is kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial. Now this is 0. My requirement is kinetic energy final. Work done by friction I just now calculated. Work done by conservative force is minus of delta U, negative of potential energy. Now minus of delta U means minus of U final minus U initial. Whenever I have delta U, that will be U final minus U initial. But because of the negative sign, this will be U initial minus U final, which I calculated in the previous problem.
Yes, sir.
So that and work done by friction with the negative sign, as it is, add up both of them. you will get the change in kinetic energy, and the initial kinetic energy is 0, hence I will get the final kinetic energy. This is a hemisphere. There is a chain hanging this way from the center. Length of the chain is much lesser than the radius. Find the potential energy of the system if r is the radius of the hemisphere. M is the mass of the chain. Mass of chain, here it is not kept on a horizontal surface, it is kept on a hemisphere. Find the mass of the chain. Find the potential energy of the chain. Find the potential energy of the chain. Here you will consider a small element. Let this be theta, let this be d theta. The potential energy of the small element will be du will be equal to dm g. The height of this will be r cos theta. dm is the mass of the small element. gh, mgh is the potential energy. This is mass per unit length into r d theta into gr cos theta. mg r square by l cos theta d theta will be the potential energy. Least value of theta is 0, maximum value of theta is L by R. Least value of theta is 0, maximum value of theta is L by R. And hence you will get the total potential energy. Theta's value maximum will be L by R. Watch out for this. When this comes over here, this will be L by R, sector formula. Look out for this. In this problem, the next thing that they asked was, when the chain is released from there, it comes till here. When it covers an angle of phi, when the chain is released from there, it covers an angle of phi. Now he is asking for the kinetic energy of this. How do I get that? I know the initial potential energy. The previous example is my initial potential energy. How do I get the final potential energy? The expression will be the same except for the fact that the limits will change. du will be dmg, h will be r cos theta, and this was mass per unit length into r d theta, g r cos theta, mg r square by l integral cos theta d theta. Least value of theta is phi. Maximum value of theta is phi plus L by R. Least value of theta is phi. Maximum value of theta is phi plus L by R. Right, this will be the final potential energy. Initial potential energy you already calculated in the previous problem. Difference will be the gain in kinetic energy. This is a 5 kg block and this is a 3 kg block. I am pulling this with a force of 4 Newton. The coefficient of friction here is 0.3, 0.03. At time t equal to 0, velocity is 0. You started applying the force F at time t equal to 0. You started applying the force F at time t equal to 0. You are asking me to find out the work done by friction on 3 kg block in the first 1 second of the journey. 0.135 joules, right? Let's see. Let the others complete. I'll solve it on the board. In these problems, first of all, we will have to decide if the 3 kg block is sliding on the 5 kg block or not.
It will slide.
It will slide because A common is 4 divided by 8 to 0.5. A maximum is 0.3 into 10. This is 0.3. A maximum is lesser. All said and done, friction cannot give the 3 kg block same acceleration as that of 5 kg block. Hence the 3 kg block is sliding. And once it is sliding, I am damn sure that the friction value is mu n.
Yes, sir.
So work done by friction will be mu into 3g dot displacement. Now displacement is also in the forward direction. Mu into mg is also in the forward direction. This is 0.03 into 3 into 10 into displacement half at square into displacement is half at square. What is the acceleration it will have? 3 kg block has an acceleration of 0.3. T is 1. Substitute A is 0.3. T is 1. This will be the work done by friction. Remember, this example is mainly given to show to the student that work done by friction is positive in this particular case. Frictional force is acting in the forward direction. Displacement is also in the forward direction. Generally, we have a temptation to say that work done by friction will always be negative. This is one example where work done by friction is positive. For this,
For 2 kg.
and for the 4 kg,
So same.
with a negative sign or positive sign.
So for 2 kg it is positive and for 4 kg it is negative.
Excellent. A common will be equal to 2 divided by 6. This will be 1/3.
It is like
0.34. Right? 333, so on and so forth. Right? Now A maximum will be equal to mu g. This will be 0.4. A maximum is greater than A common. That means friction will not give the 2 kg block that acceleration. It will decrease its acceleration so that both of them will be moving together. If both of them are moving together, have a look at it. Both of them will be moving together with this acceleration. In 1 second, the displacement of both will be half into 1 by 3 into 1 square. Initial velocity was 0. So this will become 1 by 6 meters. So the work done by friction on the 2 kg block will be, friction is in the forward direction for the 2 kg block. Right? That will be mu mg, mu into 2g into 1 by 6. Mu is given as 0.04 into g is 0.4 into 2. This will become 0.4 by 3. So many joules will be the work done by friction on the 2 kg block. Remember, work done by friction on the 4 kg block will be equal to this with a negative sign. Because net total work done by friction, in between these two there is no slipping between 2 and 4. There is no slipping between 2 and 4. Hence, work done by friction on the 2 kg block and work done by friction on the 4 kg block should be equal and opposite in sign.
Yes sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So why do you have to take the force mu mg? Because it's the complete force of friction is not used, maximum is not used.
So limit.
You are right.
Limiting friction.
There is a small mistake that we committed. Here frictional force is not mu mg. Frictional force is mass into acceleration. What is the friction acting on it? 2 kg block into acceleration is 1 by 3. Look out. Frictional force acting on it should be equal to give us an acceleration of A common. Frictional force will be 2 into 1 by 3. Frictional force will adjust its value in such a way such that it will have an acceleration of 1 by 3. So 2 into 1 by 3, this is the frictional force. Displacement will be 1 by 6.
0.11.
How much is this?
0.11.
Right. He's absolutely right. Taking mu mg will be wrong. Because the point 2 kg is not sliding on the 4 kg block. One more important parameter. Work done is frame dependent. Work done is always frame dependent. Why is it frame dependent? Suppose you and I are sitting in a train facing each other. Now according to me you are at rest. So work done by friction on you will be 0. But somebody standing on the ground is able to see the train accelerating and you are also accelerating along with the train. So according to somebody standing on the ground, you have an acceleration and hence a displacement. So work done by friction on you will not be zero. So work is frame dependent. Whenever they are asking you work, for example in this particular problem, you were asked work on the 2 kg and 4 kg block. Both the works were asked with respect to ground. If by chance I ask you work done by friction on the 2 kg block with respect to an observer on the 4 kg block, my answer would have been 0. Why will it be 0? According to an observer on the 2 kg block is not moving.
Yes, sir.
Make a note of it. Work done is frame dependent. Listen, all of you have HCV with you. Work energy theorem, question number 43, exercise problem. 43 and 50, 50. Exercise problem, 43 and 50. I said volume 1 of HCV. Listen,
Yes, sir.
in such type of problems, use the complete equation of work energy theorem, your job becomes easy.
Yes, sir.
Let the coefficient of friction be mu, you will substitute for the values. Firstly, I write the situation when the block is coming down. Work done by conservative plus work done by non-conservative plus work done by external is change in kinetic energy.
Yes, sir.
Work done by conservative in this particular case, it went down 4.8 meters, it got compressed by 0.2 meters. That means total length is 5 meters, the height will be mg into 5 sine 37. And this will be positive.
3 mg.
Why 3 mg? mg into 5. Okay, right. You solve this. Right. But keep that as it is temporarily. Now this is plus because mg is in the downward direction.
Yes, sir.
Displacement is also in the downward direction. There is one more conservative force which I should account for. The spring force. But this will be minus half kx
Minus
square.
half kx square.
Why minus kx is in the upward direction, displacement is in the downward direction. Now x value is 0.2. Work done by non-conservative force minus mu mg into cos 37 into displacement is 5. Now frictional force and displacement are in opposite direction, hence I preceded it with a negative sign. External force is 0, change in kinetic energy is 0. Initial kinetic energy, external force is normal force. Normal force is perpendicular to the displacement. If normal force is perpendicular to the displacement, that is mu mg cos 37 into 5. Normal force is perpendicular to the displacement. Work done by the normal force is 0. Sum total change in kinetic energy is 0. Now come to the second equation. Now from here it will go up by a distance of 1 meter. When it goes up by a distance of 1 meter, mg into 1 sine 37, obviously with a negative sign, plus half kx square minus mu mg into cos 37 into 5. Sum total should again be 0. Two equations and two variables.
Add it up.
Two equations and two variables. Mass of the body is given. K is one variable.
So in the second equation, the minus mu mg cos 37 into 1.
Into 1. You are right. 50th problem. Make it fast. Is this the problem? See the diagram on the board. The problem it should match with the problem. When this block comes here, this will go down by the same distance. If I consider this length to be L0, this will be L0 by cos theta. This will be L0 tan theta.
Yes, sir.
Now if this is L0 tan theta, this will be L0 tan theta. When do you think this block will take off from the ground? When kx is equal to mg. First equation is kx. What will x be equal to? L naught by cos theta minus L naught is x. This will be equal to mg is my first equation, that is normal force becomes 0. L naught by cos theta is the present length of the spring. L naught is the original length of the spring. Difference will be equal to mg. Now, loss in potential energy, this will be mg L naught tan theta should be equal to gain in kinetic energy of both half mv square plus half mv square. Why will both of them gain the same kinetic energy? They are connected by a string. Plus half k x square L naught by, I'll write this here, plus half k L naught by cos theta minus L naught whole square. The loss in potential energy is equal to gain in kinetic energy. How many equations do you have? I have two equations. How many variables? Theta is one variable, velocity is one variable. Theta is one variable, but you have small trouble in the simplification process because this is tan theta. But the two variables are theta and velocity. And what is he asking you in the problem to be calculated? Velocity. Eliminate theta, you will get the answer. Bring it in terms of secant theta. Bring it in terms of secant theta so that cos theta will come to your rescue. Eliminate this L naught into L naught cos theta minus 1. This as it is I can substitute from here. Only tan theta I will have to eliminate using cos theta.
So it would L naught upon cos theta minus L naught will come 0.08.
Excuse me, sir, I did not get the first equation.
Kx is equal to mg. When do you think this block will take off from the ground? Kx is normal force is mg. Normal force becomes 0.
Sir, kx cos theta. Yes, sir, kx.
Yeah, maybe he's right. Have a look. Kx is in this direction. Kx cos theta is the force in this direction. So I will have to multiply this with cos theta is equal to mg. Quite obvious. Kx is in this direction. Kx cos theta plus the normal force should be equal to mg. Normal force is 0. He is right. Resolve the force in the vertically upward direction.
Sir, in the first equation you have written k in bracket L naught upon cos theta minus L naught. So why this term L naught upon cos theta minus L naught?
Now there is an elongation. How do I get the elongation in the spring? Present length minus the original length is elongation. Present length is L naught by cos theta. Original length is L naught. So I get kx, but that kx value I will get along the length of the spring. That I will have to resolve in the vertically upward direction.
Sir, k in bracket L naught upon cos theta minus L naught into sin theta, the second component. Will it not have any other effect on the
No, why will it have? It is half kx square, that's it. Energy. You are squaring it. Now I don't need to resolve it anymore. When it comes to energy, now here I am dealing with forces, so I have to resolve it in the vertical upward direction. Here it is only the energy. So it is half kx square.